Well, the first thing is I get a call. I get a yes, yes, yes call or no, no, no call, which means yes, yes, yes means I'm good to catch it, and no, no, no means no, I fair catch it. Well, I caught it, and then, you know, I didn't really see nothing much. So when I looked to my right, I saw people. I looked to my left, I saw more of our people to the left. So I ran and I went to the left, and then, I had a little hole, so I squeezed right through it. And then when I was running upfield, Cole, they was all blocking, but Cole was behind me a little bit. And then they kind of tackled him, guessing he had the ball. And I squeezed through that one. And then, at that moment, I thought, man, I had to keep going. So they was arm tackling me, and I just ran right through them. I know we needed that big play. We was already down 14-0. And I know we had that spark. So I'm just glad that I could create that spark for our team. Play call was Mike, which it's like a middle return, man. But he caught it, and I told him, yeah, which means yeah, he's good. So as he caught the ball, we were running and stuff. So he went to the right, and I was like, no, man, come to the left. And he cut back to my left, and I saw him, and we went through this hole, and I blocked for him. Man, dude tackled me. I don't know why he tackled me, but luckily Turner got up to the hole. That boy looked like Walter Payton out there running the ball.
We're knowing that we can execute, we can stop them, we can make the plays offensively and defensively. We feel like that. We just need a spark, a first down, a good drive on defense. We need to make that one play to get to that pass rush, make that tackle, whatever it may be. But when you have a good play, a big play like we did with Turner on the return game, it's the same as the week before. We had two big kick returns. If you see that, in the Albany State game, we were down 14-0. Turner makes a big run. Not only did it spark the team, it sparked the crowd, it sparked everybody. It was just the type of run we had. Probably could have scored if we'd have blocked it a little better. We had a couple guys watching the play just like I was on the field instead of turning back and blocking somebody who ended up making the tackle on the 10-yard line. So that was really awesome to see. It was a great run.
We had a middle return, what we call middle punt return. Mm-hmm. And of course, punt returns over the years have become a lot more complicated as the punt formations have become a lot more exotic and different. Mm-hmm. So whereas you used to just have one punt return versus one punt, you have to have some different calls nowadays because of all the different formations and motions and rugby and shield punt. Well, first of all, like I said, we want to force the kick, meaning we want to rush from both sides. So you can see I got two stand-up defensive ends, if you will, and they're going to rush from the outside and force the kick. And before we even start on there, you can see where they're punting from. They're punting from between the 15 and 16-yard line. We had a good punt previous to this that pinned them back, and our defense did a good job of holding them. Now they got to punt from deep in their end zone. So that's advantage us in the field position game. And, as a punt team, you're trying just to get the ball out of there, so maybe the punter won't take all his time and steps. And so that was a great job by our punt team that's pin them down there, our defense to hold them, and then now we have our middle return. Two guys are rushing from the edge right there. You can see that. Then we're matching up with some of the guys inside. And as you can tell, Turner catches the punt, but I also have another guy back there. I have two returners, and early on in my career, we talk about field position. Well, what better way to get field position or, to get an advantage on that than have two returners where you will be able to seemingly catch the ball. Two can catch the ball better than one is our philosophy. And so when that ball bounces, meaning on a punt, when the ball bounces, on average, it's going to go 16 to 17 yards, between 16 and 17 yards against you. So when coaches talk about hidden yardage, you might hear about that on Saturdays or Sundays when you're watching football. That's what they're talking about. We want to catch the ball. Then if we can get a return, that's even better. But we never want to let the ball catch every catchable ball. And Turner caught the ball right here, and he's in good position. You can see on the film right here, they have 3 cover men down here, and we have 3 guys in position to block. Plus, I have an extra guy, the off returner, his brother, Cole Rotenberry, ready to block. This up to this point is a pretty good scheme, pretty good planning, good coaching by our staff. Coach Bland coaches the returners. All that's exactly how we want it. Now, once you get to this part right here, when he starts breaking tackles and gets a huge 50-some yard return, a lot of that is Turner's athletic ability, his determination, his grit, and his playmaking ability. It's not necessarily the scheme or the blocking. That right there, he had 2 unblocked guys in his face right here, and he cut to the left. Broke a tackle there, had a good block by his brother. You can see a guy had him wrapped up right here, broke that tackle, and then you get to the sideline, and then we actually had a couple blockers right here. If they would have turned to their right, right there, we would have been able to walk into the end zone. But it was a good scheme, I think, to start with. And then his athletic ability took over from there. Well, recruiting both number 9 and number 1, Turner and Cole Rotenberry, was an ongoing process. We recruited them out of high school, South Panola High School, 4 years ago. And they actually, I remember them coming on game day visits. They came to our summer camp, and they ended up signing with Northwest Mississippi Community College, and kept in contact with them there, and they had great careers there. And then during their sophomore season, I started recruiting them and offered them during that time, and they came and visited. I think December of their sophomore year at Northwest, and then signed with us in December, and then have been fixtures in the starting lineup on offense, defense, and special teams since they've been here. And there's really not a whole lot they can't do, whatever position you put them at, on special teams, on offense or defense, and they're known for their playmaking ability. If you notice from that wide shot or the sideline shot, you see how excited our team is. Not only was this a big punt return, it was a big punt return during the time of the game we needed it most. We were down 14-0 at this point, and things were not looking good for the Choctaws. And you get a big play like this, and then all of a sudden you saw what we call the big momentum started swinging in our favor.